welcome. We're here, Dustin Dopirak, once again coming to you from the Orleans Arena. The Indiana Hoosiers go 0-2 in the Las Vegas Classic, losing to Colorado tonight. A valiant comeback, but just too much bad play for the Hoosiers.
Yeah,
the last 48 hours, just too much bad play to overcome.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it. I mean, they just went through a stretch of about 20 minutes where they just didn't defend well. They didn't shoot at all. Really, it was about a 15-minute stretch of play where they couldn't get anything to fall, and they got killed on dribble drive yet again. Some issues with some pick and roll, but in large part, just guys just coming right after them and dunking on them, more or less. Just a lot of rough situations. But ball movement fell apart completely. They had a little bit of it early. Jordan Hall's managed to hit some threes, but after that, they just went in the tank completely. Another bad game shooting-wise by both Riddell Jones and Maurice Creek, and then Christian Watford was part of it again tonight. He was 0 for 11 until he got three big buckets at the end of the game. Was a big reason why they made a comeback, but before then he was 0 for 11 from the field. So it was a rough night on all counts. Lots of forced shots, bad decisions. It wasn't pretty.
You take these two games as a whole. Riddell Jones was I believe 5 of 23 from the field. Maurice Creek was 2 of 12.
Yeah.
And Christian Watford was 10 of 27.
Yeah.
So you're talking about your three leading scorers, your three guys that you really count on to carry the scoring load for you, and they weren't able to.
Yeah.
Derek Elston played 2 minutes in the second half. That was the guy that gave him a big lift offensively yesterday.
Yeah.
Was not a factor at all tonight.
A lot of people want an explanation for that. This is the one we got, so take it or leave it, whatever. Yeah. But basically, there were two things. I mean, number one, they did go to a 4-guard lineup plus Watford. So really, it was 4 guards and a swingman for the greater part of the second half. I mean, they didn't play. I think Pritchard didn't play at all. Capianco played 2 minutes. So between Capianco and Elston, you had a total of 4 minutes from your centers in the second half. I mean, I guess he decided he wanted to play small number one. Number two, he told us that he thought last night took a lot out of Elston. That he played. I think he played 31 minutes yesterday.
Played 31 minutes.
And he said, obviously Elston's had to get over a lot of little nagging injuries, and he said that was kind of an issue for him, that he wasn't the same player tonight that he was last night. I don't know if I saw that. Hugh,
I don't know. I don't know if I believe that, only because he practices how many hours a day. They play how much.
He apparently doesn't practice very much.
Well,
is what he says. So.
Well, I mean, because he's been held out with a lot of injuries. But it's that thing of it's the same reason why I don't ever put a lot of stock into the NCAA tournament. They got to play every other day, and that's so difficult. Conference tournament, you got to play every day, that's so difficult. These kids play every day.
Yeah.
Certainly there's a different energy to a game.
Right.
They play every day.
Right.
They have the stamina for it.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know how much I believe the tired argument. I believe Derek did not play very well during the first half. They were down.
He wasn't awful. He wasn't any worse than anybody else.
No, but he did play well. He didn't. Yeah. He wasn't a spark the way he had been in the last couple of games.
Yeah.
And so I think Tom Crean made a decision to go in a different direction, and rather than kind of throw the kid under the bus and say that, he decided to say, look, the kid was tired. We decided to go to a lineup where we're going to press, and that meant that Derek sat.
The small lineup did eventually produce some results. So Victor Oladipo obviously played an outstanding game today. 16 points, 7 of 9 from the field, 5 offensive rebounds, 7 total boards, and really did spark them a lot. When they started pressing, when they started really getting after the ball and really trying to make some steals, that turned into something. I mean, it turned into a few breaks. I think they had 12 points off turnovers in the second half after I think 8 in the first. Yeah. It made a difference. It made a difference, especially there was a stretch where they got back into it. I think it was maybe, I don't know if it was a 15-2 run or something like that, but it got them back from down 19 all the way to down 3. They at least showed up. They kept fighting in that whole kind of bit. But again, like you said, I mean, there were enough stretches that it was really ugly tonight. And the question then becomes, all right, this is what you have going forward in the Big Ten play. This is the game that really, really counts starting Monday against Penn State. Where do you think this team is?
Nice segue there, Dustin. I appreciate that. I think this team. I think this team is not in a good position right now. I think this team is not playing with a lot of confidence. They're a little confused. There's a little bit of just there's this little. I think the little stuff is added up, and I think this team right now they need something to happen.
Yeah.
And Penn State's not a good team. This is a team that just lost to Maine.
Yeah.
But it's a team that does have athletes.
It does have
Colorado's
one of the best players in the Big Ten.
Right, it has one of the best players in Big Ten and has some guys around him that are just kind of athlete, not real basketball players, whatever. Well, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Colorado had a lot of athletes.
Yeah.
Athletes give Indiana problems right now.
Yeah.
They force them to not really play Matt Roth, who can be a real kind of offensive weapon for them. You know, there's things that, you know, Jordan Holtz has struggled. You know, Verdell has struggled. Maurice has struggled. I mean, a lot of guys have trouble defending guys that have a lot of athleticism. So the Penn State game, I don't think is an automatic win, even though
not at all.
the Penn State team isn't very good in it. And
then you get Ohio State.
And Jared Solinger and Dallas Lauderdale, and I don't know how that's
Deshaun Thomas and John Diebler and David Lighty and William Buford. So good luck.
And Aaron Kraft.
They're
good. They're really good. I mean, before the season, I said Indiana was going to win 16 games. I made that determination thinking that they were going to. I figured of the Boston College game and the 2 games here, they were going to win 2 of 3.
Right.
Okay. I thought Boston College was not going to be a very good team, and then I figured they'd win at least 1 game here. And if they did lose the Boston College game, they would win both games here. So I thought they'd come into a Big Ten season with 11 wins. They could win
5.
They could win 5 conference games. That seemed very doable. 6 at the most. Now they're at 9. They got to win 7. I don't see 7 wins.
I don't see 7 wins either.
They get Iowa twice, but Iowa beat them both times last year, and Iowa beat Northern Iowa pretty easily.
Yeah. Northern Iowa didn't shoot at all.
No, but, you know.
No, but I mean, I think one thing that Karina said a few times this year was that when it comes down to crunch time, you revert to your habits. And I think that's one thing that this team does, maybe not always in crunch time, you know, pressure situations and whatnot. There is a lot of kind of panicking, and there's a lot of guys trying to do too much. When the ball moves, when they have faith in what they're doing, I guess, or what they're supposed to do. And this is obviously a thing that's very hard. Not a lot of teams ever have this consistently. But when they have faith in the ball movement, in that it's going to get somebody an open shot, things happen. When they start forcing shots, they have issues. Watford forced a bunch tonight.
He did. A lot of guys.
A lot of off balance, in the middle of a turn when you don't have your feet set yet, throwing it up type deals. Verdell Jones has been forcing them all week.
Yeah.
You know, Maurice Creek still, I mean, he didn't take a lot of shots tonight, but he's still not entirely certain where things are. And
and guys are just, they're trying to do too much right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's that whole beach ball thing.
People have to think we're nuts talking. Anyway.
We just had some guys walk by. They're just kind of staring at us because,
You have to see the setup. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, you're getting kind of that beach ball scenario. The ball isn't going in, and so like you keep on trying to force things. It just gets harder and harder. The ball gets bigger and bigger, and the rim gets smaller and smaller. And so Indiana needs something. Maybe Penn State will be it.
Maybe
they go out in 3 days.
They come back to Assembly Hall.
They come back to Assembly Hall.
They feel more comfortable.
Maybe Penn State's a little, whatever, Christmas, they had to fly. Maybe weather happened, maybe
Taylor Battle has an off night.
Yeah, maybe it's a 15, 20-point win, and suddenly Indiana's back, and we're going to do everything we can against Ohio State, and we're going to definitely beat the Iowas, and if we can pull out 1 or 2 against Northwestern, and we can beat Michigan.
Sure, I mean,
you
never know what can happen, but the way this team is looking right now, something's got to change.
Something has to change.
Something's got to get a lot better.
Somebody has to take the reins.
Yeah.
This team needs somebody in their huddle. They need somebody other than a coach to say, no, stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do. And for the other 4 guys to listen.
There's literally no personality on the team, though. There's none.
There's not. I mean, that's what they need.
Not even to be insulting. I mean, like, just in the case of, like, not everybody is like that. There are great players that were never like that. And there's a bunch of guys who just don't have – there is no grab everybody else by the throat personality on this team.
No, and the way the culture, because of the rebuild project, the culture of the team was built in such a manner where everyone feels like peers.
Yeah,
like
well,
they're all soldiers in this war against what happened.
Sanctions.
A war against sanctions. The war against Kelvin.
I guess.
The Battle of Samson.
Yeah. Just keep going, Hugh.
Okay. So I mean, they're all together, and I think because of that, if there was that one personality, that guy has not risen out yet.
No,
I think Maurice
no.
Creek wanted to be, but he got since
hurt.
he came back, he has not even talked about wanting to be that guy.
No,
Jordan.
No, he was more that guy while he was actually hurt.
Yeah.
When he was actually walking around with a knee injury, as he's had to battle back from this, and it's been hard for him to, I think, feel worthy of that. You know, he's the only guy that might maybe kind of sort of possibly one day have that personality, and I don't think he gets it back until he's Maurice Creek from last year and beyond, until he's hitting shots.
You know who I think that guy is?
Watford does not have it. What's that?
You know who I think that guy is?
Who's that?
Tijon is the man.
Tijon's always the answer.
Tijon, is there a grad assistant opening?
This needs to happen.
Let's make it happen. Christmas present for us.
Yes.
Tom,
for us,
Tom,
for
if you're
everyone.
watching, you haven't gotten us anything.
Tijon Joe.
Tijon.
We asked. He's still in Bloomington.
Yeah.
You can
Right.
get him there
Maybe
pretty easy.
maybe have the Liger hold the flag.
We've lost it completely.
All right. Thanks everybody.
Anyway, thanks. Merry Christmas.